Welcome in once again, guys. We're here to feed that Yu-Gi-Oh cardboard addiction, guys. You guys already know we have Vanquish Soul Raisin. We hadn't talked about this card in forever, but there was a YCS this weekend over there in Bologna, over there in Italy, if I'm not mistaken, and it took over the market. People are reacting here. You know, the Yu-Gi-Oh community is going crazy. They're like, oh my God, Vanquish Soul won a YCS. You know, it actually pulled through and it beat Pure Yummy and you know, this and that in the third, and this deck top, and that top 8 this, and top 16, and this is going on in the meta, and you know, and then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're gonna have another YCS, which we will cover most likely the following Monday, you know, next Monday. Again, because the market moves. When a YCS, an event that has 2,000 plus Yu-Gi-Oh players going at it and competing, it always impacts the markets, and Vanquish Soul Raisin is no different. This card was $3, man. $3. I mean, no one saw this coming. No one thought that this card would impact the meta anytime soon. I mean, the format was already live. You know, we just had Pittsburgh. Brandon Dracotail took over. And now we had a 2,000 plus player event over there on the other side of the pond. And now these volume candles coming in, massive volume candles, people rushing in to get exposure to this card again. Because again, there's a lot of people out there that they really love this deck. They like the deck. They wanted to continue playing the deck. But you know, after the hits and the Malice and you know, and then eventually the new cards coming out and things of that nature, people were moving away from Vanquish Soul as a deck. You know, just feel like it was bricking too much. It was inconsistent, and nothing has changed to that matter per se. But you know, topping an event and then not just winning the event, but there was multiple players topping with the deck, then you know, further solidifies the potential comeback of Vanquish Soul into the meta. And yeah, this card is now $5. You have 6 here at 523s, but after that it starts heading towards 7s, 82 listings. So again, you can see we had a low at 3s. Pretty soon it could be a $6 card up 2x. And a card like this has a lot of potential. Ultra rare from Duelist Advance. You know, people need their playsets. So you know, if you have a rush of Yu-Gi-Oh players coming back to Vanquish Soul, as you can see, you know, the volume is picking up. This card can easily 2 to 3x, is already a $5 card. Wouldn't be surprised to see it continue go up, especially after the YCS performance, which we will definitely cover in just a bit. And then we do have Vanquish Soul Raisin. Excuse me, guys. Vanquish Soul Raisin here. This 2024 tin card was around 286, is sub $3. Volume has been picking up here as of late. Same deal. It's a $5 card essentially. Let's refresh here real quick. You know, let's check here, and yeah, you know, it's 49s pushing 5s, and then it quickly goes to 7s after a 10 wallet China here at 550s. Then it starts going to 8 pluses at the bottom of the page, 4 pages only, 38 listings, and of course we understand that for the most part everyone needs their one of, but as you can see on the 1 month, a rush has been coming in for Yu-Gi-Oh players picking up this card, this deck again. So Vanquish Soul's making moves. We will discuss the winning deck and just you know, other relevant cards, so stay tuned. But Vanquish Soul is making a comeback into the meta. And then shout out to Aaron, man. We had him on last week, if I'm not mistaken. It was a great video. If you guys didn't catch that, it was an amazing market watch. If you're on a long commute, you know, if you want to, you know, check us out, make sure you check him out. Sub. It was amazing, and the content, you know, that we were discussing, and you know, he was expressing fundamentally why, you know, you guys should buy K9 Izuna at around $13 and now thanks to Vanquish Soul K9 topping, you know, this card, you can see it right here. Card was in the 12s and some change. Massive volume candle coming in, hundreds of Yu-Gi-Oh players rushing in for a card that me on the channel for multiple times I was saying there's no better time, and in that video, technically speaking, I said we were buying closer to the lows and to the highs, and it was a great time just to get exposure to the card. That was before the YCS. And now Yu-Gi-Oh players are like, oh man, I want to build Vanquish Soul K9 again, man. Massive volume candle on the card. I mean, let's refresh. It says $16. You know, $16. And you have a new wall of China here. But after that wall at 1535s, it's an $18 card. And it goes towards 21s at the bottom of the page. Guys, hopefully you listen at around 12-13s. We have this V-shaped recovery off the lows. And here we are, man. You know, it's not like, oh, Jay, I mean, are you trying to say that you expected Vanquish Soul K9 to top YCS Bologna? Not necessarily. No. If it wasn't that deck, it was somewhere else. The card is too good. Aaron was saying the same thing. I was talking about the card as well, and now the card is already up a couple billies, and after those 18, I mean, at this rate, that's going to disappear in the next 24 to 48 hours. Then the card is going to not just be 18s, but pretty soon potentially becoming a 20-piece McNuggies once again for Mickey D. So definitely keep this one in mind. And yes, it does have the other versions. The Starlight, we were talking about it at around a 50-piece. You see the volume coming in right here on the 1 month right there. Boom, volume coming in, people picking it up. And after a couple one-ups, the card does go to $65+ at the bottom of the page. You have a 7 wall right here. 29 listings. This is the max rarity, so don't let this go up if you want to play the engine. You know, the card is still relatively near the previous all-time lows. So, you know, if you need this engine, you need this card. Just like we were talking about last week, you know, no better time to pick it up than then. But if you still need it now, don't wait too long before these prices continue going up. And look, the CRs are the best deal right now. I mean, right now as we speak, they're still around the same price as they were before the YCS pump of the OG Ultras and the Starlights a tad bit. So the higher rarity still not moving, but that's good. It gives you guys time to get a playset for $100 of the CRs. Like if you really want the card, like not bad, man. $100 post-tax, we said, is the most you would want to pay for a playset of CRs. You're still within that range, so make sure if you need it and you want it. If you're playing Vanquish Soul Canine and just want access to the Canine engine, I wouldn't be waiting for much longer, guys. Link in the description down below. Come over here. As you can see, this chart is starting to ramp up off the lows here. So if you want to fast track these cards or purchase any of these cards that we will be talking about today, no better place. First link in the description down below. And again, I did want to touch base on this product again very quickly. The legendary modern decks, I've been, you know, talking about this but never showed it here on the channel, and you guys probably know about this already. But again, X-Saber, Sky Striker, Mitsu Booty, and just brand new cards and staples and things of that nature coming. So that's pretty interesting, man. That's pretty interesting that we're gonna get access to this product. It comes out in March though, so I mean, it's quite a while. We're gonna even have the 300th YCS before that. And then after that, I think it's what, Team YCS Vegas and then Ohio. I mean, but yeah, that's when this is gonna be coming out. A lot of people are excited and stoked for this product. So very interesting. Not just maybe new support for some of these deck archetypes, but also what would get reprinted inside this set. So yeah. Recently reprinted. Okay, yeah. Okay, you can buy this deck. Yeah, so pretty interesting, man. Pretty interesting. You know, I look forward to this product release. Let me know what you guys think. And then again, we're actually doing a brand new giveaway. Shout out to Andrew, man, always being so supportive of the channel. He donated Odin, Father of the Asir Ghost Rare right here, you know, for one lucky winner that we will select anywhere from later this week to early next week. Stay tuned. And then shout out to my guy Spaden, another member of the channel, sent me these Rush Duel Overframe cards, you know, just to give y'all an idea of how maybe overframes will be, you know, after they get released over here. I can't wait. So yeah, one lucky winner for all of these, you know, so link in the description down below if you want to participate in this giveaway, guys, for free. Make sure you follow these instructions right here. There you go. If you're on a free Market Watch course right there, free $15 off over there on Whatnot, Discord, and X right here. Make sure you don't miss out, and make sure that you keep in mind that none of this content is official financial advice. It's for entertainment purposes only. And subscribe while you're at it. Ring that bell, like the video on the way in. Would gladly appreciate that. And here we have YCS Bolognese, man. Nah, Bologna. How do you say that, man? Bologna, probably Bologna. Yeah, man, very interesting event, you know. And it was 2,429 Yu-Gi-Oh players. That's crazy. That's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players, boys. And you know what I took away from this event, it was just the mix of tops. It was a lot of different decks that top 64 per se, and even in the top 8 you had, you know, all these decks that we're going to be covering today. But Vanquish Soul getting to the finals with Pure Yummy as well. Then you have Mitsu Booty 3rd, Malice 4th. So it was just different decks in the top 4, man. That's crazy. crazy. Vanquish Soul in the top 8 with Joshua Smith right there. And then you had another Vanquish Soul down here in the top 32. So, I mean, in the top 32, it was just a lot of Mitsu Yummy, Pure Mitsu right here, Malice. You know, so I mean, the meta really hasn't changed much. You had the one Lunalight player getting to top 16, so that's pretty cool. But I mean, the meta is just the meta. But I mean, Vanquish Soul was a surprise to actually win it all. You know, and then these decks are way cheaper than they once were. So it's a good time to be in Yu-Gi-Oh! To have a meta-relevant deck compared to past meta deck prices. So, I mean, and then as you go into the top 64, there was a real mix of, you know, even White Forest, Memento, down here, Gemini. So, you know, that was pretty cool that these guys, and again, this is a top 64 of 2,429 players. So it's relevant. It's not like, oh yeah, but you know, it's top 64. It's not even top 32. No. Like this is 64 out of 2,000 plus players, boys. That's very, very impressive. And of course, we don't have like all the lists and all the information, but we do have enough to actually cover the event. So again, we have K9 Vanquish, so actually winning the event right here. And again, just going through the list, I mean, it's just pretty standard. Only 6 hand traps, guys. You know, like actual hand traps. Of course, you can play Zuna. You can, you know, play on your opponent's turn with Holly Sue. We understand that. But I mean, like actual hand traps, only 6. You know, you have triple case of K9 right there. So, or a case for K9. And yeah, man, the one trap just looks pretty, you know, generic in the sense like nothing too crazy. I mean, we do have Gravekeeper's Inscription at 3. So that's very, very interesting. You have you know, Shifter right here. So yeah, still, and then you do have the other hand traps in the side based on particular matchups. So very, very interesting list. Looks clean. It actually won the entire event. Let me know what you guys think right there. So yeah, so let's dig in. Again, Vanquish. So we already talked about, you know, Holly Sue, the regular version per se, and we mentioned Soul Raisin, but there's a lot of other Vanquish Soul cards making moves. And before we get to the other ones, just wanted to go through max rarity Holly Sue right here. Volume Candle also coming in. The card is $78. You have a couple one-ofs, and then it quickly goes to 90s and beyond. 4 pages only, 35 listings, guys. So you just don't want to sleep on this card. I mean, this card can reclaim the double-digit marks. Again, I mean, there's still a couple here, but all it takes is hype, man. If this deck, if this weekend affects YCS Mérida in Mexico, yeah. If it affects that, then I think that these prices can go up even more. So if over there in Mexico, a lot of people are like, you know what, man, wow, Holly Sue, you know, I need them, I'm gonna play them, and now I'm gonna play Vanquish Soul, and it starts being more represented and actually maybe top or win the event as well, then it's gonna be a double whammy. So just keep it in mind. If you're a Vanquish Soul player, you've always wanted to get the max rarity, no better time to pick up Holly Sue from Duelist Advanced Starlight Rare than right now. And we have Stake Your Soul. Again, this card, same deal. You see the volume candles are growing here little by little. It's been consolidating at around $4. And right now, I mean, it's a $5 card essentially. So don't take this for granted. 57 listings, and I get it. Some people, oh, that was over there in Italy. It's not going to affect here in the States. You know, deck still bricks. It still has the same problem. It still sucks. Yeah, but people react. People react. They're going to come in now because there was a YCS champion, you know, across the world that actually won with the, and then there was other people playing the deck too. If it was just be him by himself, I understand. But, you know, you had the winner, then another one in top 16, and then the other one I think was like top 32 or top 64, as we just showed. So there's implications. It's multiple people cracking through, being consistent enough to make it that far out. So, yeah, just keep the deck in mind. Stake Your Soul. Right here, definitely a good one to pick up. You don't want to be paying over $5 for this card if you need it. Don't let it become double digits, go crazy, potentially in the future if you need it. Like if I would need it, I would just come in and pick it up right now. Then we have Vanquish Soul Yugioh Long. This card, how is this still not reprinted? Other than like the quarter century and the regular ultra. Like this card was $3. No one cared about it with sub 3s, and now recovering fast here. Volume coming in, as you can see, the largest 3-month volume candle in the last 90 days occurred just now. $8 already. 22 listings, $8 card. Goes to 14 bones at the bottom of the page, 3 pages only. So some of these Vanquish Soul cards are getting cleaned out. They're getting bought out, man. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, you know, I'm trying to call it how it is in the sense, damn, yo, that lighting, I look like white. Like, yo, what's going on? My bad, guys. I was just looking at my camera. I'm like, yo, this room looks bright as hell. Yeah, nah. But again, Yugioh Long, like, I'd be picking this card up sooner rather than later. That's all I'm saying. Yes, it still has the same bandless hits, but, you know, and I think probably in Pittsburgh, there was probably some people that with the deck as well, but no one really cared because it didn't win the event, you feel me? So definitely make those considerations with those cards. We have Heavy Burger, Vanquish Soul Heavy Burger right here. This card was $1.25, bro. $1.25. Volume candles came in, and now it's a $5 card overnight. People like, well, who cares? It's still just $5. Jay, it's up 4x. 4x from the lows overnight. Wild. 46 listings here, and the card then goes to 6s, but again, it's 5s now. Don't take it for granted. I get it, it's already up 4x from the lows, I understand, but it's better to get it at 5s than potentially at double digits in the future if you're building and want to play the actual deck. Then we have the K9 angle of things, and again, we're talking about K9 in the sense of K9 Vanquish Soul 1, but there was people playing K9 not just with Vanquish Soul, but actually with Mitsu Booty, which we're going to touch base later on here, and just overall with different engines. And that's, again, Aaron was mentioning that. He was like, there's no way I'm not playing Azuna. The card is just too good. And then we saw it reflected this weekend at the YCS. So that was very impressive. So with that said, we have K904 Noroi from Doom of Dimensions. This card, what a beautiful chart. Hey, we got to draw, man. We're 16 minutes in. It's been too long without drawing some squiggly wiggly lines, guys. Let's draw the support. Can I draw it green? Let me see. I want to draw a green support line right here. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful right there. Let's change it to green right here. Boom. And then what else can we draw? Usually we had these resistance points right here, and what are we doing? We're breaking this mini wedge pattern. Let's change that to red right there with the resistance right there. We're breaking it. So when you break a wedge pattern like this, where do we expect to go? To the previous highs of what is that, like 27, 28 bucks, give or take? Around 30s. Again, what do we have here? We had the retracement back down to the mean, W shape, booty shape recovery. Boom. We expect this card to go up to 30s. Right now it was 2190s, pumping up to 25s overnight. And now, I mean, you have a couple one-ofs here. Then it literally goes to 30s at the bottom of the page, heading into page 2. 22 listings. It's just crazy, man. Charts work more times than not, guys. You can see it as clear as day. The game is that easy. So Noroi's, we talk about this card every week. Every week, at least once a week, either the best-selling card, some way, somehow, we always circle back to these cards. And all I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, if you need this card, like, pick it up near 20. Sure, I say, hey, it could go into the teens. Anything is possible. Maybe even as low as 15s. But if you really, really need it, like, just pick it up at around 20s. And here we are, where it rebounded. And now the card is 25s with potentially hitting 30s. Here, volume is picking up. So definitely keep this one in mind. And then you do have the Starlight here. Again, we talked about this one not too long ago. I'm at around 115s. Now it's 125s after a couple. It's 130s, then 150s. And beyond at the bottom of the page, 10 pages only. So, here we are, man. Here we are. Volume is picking up. People making the choice. You know what, man? I'm going to play Vanquish Soul K9 again. They're coming in. They're getting the max rarity. So the Starlight Rare is making moves. Don't let it get too crazier from here if you really want this max rarity version. Then we do have K9 00 Lupus. Starlight Rare. We literally talked about this. Literally telling people, bro, it's too cheap at 10 bucks. It's too cheap. This Starlight Rare Lupus, I get it. Most people just need one of, but it's Starlight Rare max rarity, bro. 35 listings. Look at this volume candle. Insane. Insanity, bro. Crazy volume candle. Look at that V-shaped recovery off the $10 lows. Wild. And the card is up essentially 30% from the lows here. And that's a couple ones and two ups. At the bottom of the page, it surpasses $15. 35 listings, guys. And hey, if you need this, hopefully you picked it up when we talked about it last week. If not, 1285s is much better than 15s and beyond, but don't let it get too crazy before you get exposure to the Starlight Rare max rarity Lupus right there. Then we do have a case for K9 Starlight Rare. Card was a 40 piece, went down to 25s when we said people, pick it up, guys. 20s was ideal. And now the card is still a couple one-ofs, and then it hits 30. So if you need this card, pick it up. 36 listings. Again, the thing with cards like these is that when people need them, like for Vanquish Soul K9, excuse me, guys, as you guys saw, it was triple. It was 3 triple case for K9s right here, as you can see. So it's gonna be people out there, you know what, man, let me pay the 80 bucks plus or the $75 plus tax, around 80-85s, man, and get the playset of case for K9. So keep it in mind, Starlight Rare, max rarity. The only alternative is the super rare. So just keep this max rarity version in mind. Then we have the pure yummy build. We have the actual runner-up, and when we come here and see this yummy build, it's been what it's been for the last couple weeks, month or two. It is what it is. It works. It's a matter of, if you do your plays right, if you don't break, things of that nature, but it does what it does. So pure yummy here, making moves, making plays, the runner-up of the YCS, and again, someone else playing Gravekeeper's Inscription. So guys, when you have both of the guys that made the finals were playing Gravekeeper's Inscription, that is the whole point of being 20 minutes in and discussing the YCS. To find trends, tendencies, irregularities, per se comparisons, to come to the conclusion that Gravekeeper's Inscription was played by the two finalists. So again, our job is to analyze the card, and we can see, right here was $1.28. Must be nice. Came all the way back to the scene of the crime, back down, rebounding back up. And the card, you have 1 for 6s. Shout out to Down South TCG, man, member of the channel, giving people some deals and steals. Because after that, it goes to 867s and then eventually pushes double digits into page 2. So this card is about to continue running up as people realize that, they need play sets for their side deck. The card is just that good. Wow. Only 2 versions of this card. Only 2. It never got like a quarter century or none of that, which it should have based on the artwork. So both of these are money. Hopefully you got yours, because right now this card is about to breach its previous all-time highs. Definitely make those considerations. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, the misprint secret. Yeah, some people like those. And then we do have Yummy Snatchy. We're just gonna very briefly touch base on the Yummy budget deck core, which we will be giving one. Our next giveaway, than the one that we announced now, is gonna be a budget Yummy deck core. So stay tuned for that. And budget means it won't have like the marshmallows, but that's about it. It'll have all the other pieces. We have Yummy Snatchy here, Justice Hunters. Again, it's just consolidating around 250s right here, as you can see. Then eventually heads towards 3s into page 2. Volume has still been healthily. I mean, there's a lot of people coming back, took breaks, come back. They're like, yo, I want to play Yummy, man. And that volume continues to come in. So the card is still around 250, 260 for the most part. So no better time to get exposure to a deck that just got runner-up 2,000, plus player event. So keep it in mind with Snatchy. Then we have Cupsy. Cupsy right here, it's at around 2 and some change. Pretty quickly goes towards 4s, man. Let's clean this up janitor style. Let's take a look here. So again, the card is 284s after a couple 1s and 2s. It goes towards $4 at the bottom of the page where you have the current wall of China. So yeah, 64 listings, guys, right here. Very, very interesting what's going on with this card. Don't let it be $5 and beyond, and beyond. If you really, really need it, we can see that you're starting to get some type of curvature right here. So don't sleep on it. Cupsy, we have Cookie Yummy here. After the event, the card has been around $1 and some change, and this one hasn't really moved much. It's $1 and some change, still cheap. So if you need it, no better time to pick it up. With $4, I think you get like a play set. So it's just such a great deal. It's such a great deal. If you want to compete right now, Cookie Yummy making moves, making plays. And then we have Lollipop Yummy. Yo, Lollipop Yummy is shekels, bro. Shekels, bro. Literal shekels. Essentially around $1. So yeah, not too much else to say on this one other than the fact that it's a free 99. Then we have Mitsu Booty Yummy. So again, we talked about the Yummy aspect. Then we have Mitsu Booty. We have K9 Mitsu Booty. So we're going to talk about Mitsu Booty here with Yummy, with K9, and just pure as well. So those 3 decks focusing on the Mitsu Rugi angle of things. Let's just show Mitsu Rugi Yummy here. I mean, let's see. What do we see here? Anything out of sorts? Anything out of whack? Double Cyclone is a very interesting card. We're going to touch base as we did right after Pittsburgh. Everything else looks pretty standard per se for this Mitsu Yummy variant. We have K9 Mitsu Booty. You know, actually very interesting playing pre-prep, guys, inside this version. I'm right here with the full K9 package. So very interesting mix, man. Yeah, it's playing Triple D Fissure, just a broken card. So yeah, man, sorry, Yugioh here as well. So very interesting take right here with this deck, getting top 4 at YCS Bologna. And then we do have pure Mitsu here. Nothing too crazy other than the fact that this pure version was using the Fallen and the Virtuous, guys. The Fallen and the Virtuous. I've been telling you guys, and we're not going to show it in today's market watch because we're always talking about that card regardless throughout the week. But like, the easiest, if you're 25 minutes in, you deserve this free money. This is how it starts. When you see a card comes out as generic as this is how it starts. It starts just being put in every deck and every normal deck, and then branded comes out, and then the hype, and then everyone needs this card. Don't sleep on it. Don't take it for granted. Yeah, I know it comes in the structured deck. It's all about supply and demand. The demand is going to outweigh the supply for this card. This card is going to be money. Even the Ultras. I'm telling you, man, I've been a proponent of you guys really honing in, picking this card up, because that's what I'm doing this Friday. This Friday, and we're going to do a dedicated market watch later on this week, like, of what I'm going to be looking to buy. Literally. Like, when I start the market watch, I'm like, guys, this is what I'm going to be looking at from Friday through the weekend, just these cards. Which, to no one's surprise, is going to be mainly tin stuff and mainly structured deck stuff. Just, it is what it is. We're going to be making this free money with this card. Free 99. The card that had Walls of China at 250 and now it's like 280s. Then we're going to come back, it's going to be 3s, and one day it's going to be 5, 6, 7. Maybe even $10 for the Ultras. It has too much going for it. It's just too generically good. It has the artwork going for it. It's branded, and it's going to get new branded support. Like, it's just, I need to move on. My bad. So this pure Mitsu variant was playing this card, and other than that, everything else was pretty much straightforward. You know, nothing else really, you know, to add to this. But yeah, so talking about these 3 Mitsu variants right here, again, I mean, when it comes to Mitsu Rugi, yo, that's crazy. What is this? There's actually someone called like that. Yo. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, there's nothing too much like crazy going on. Let me see. What is this? What is this? Like what waist shorts? What is that, bro? 100 copies of Mitsu's? Yo, count me in. We have Mitsu Booty Ritual. Last week touched base on this card at around $20, and that's where we're at. So 49 listings, guys. If you need this card to compete, you know, still around $20. Not bad. I mean, you know, its volume is healthy, so very healthy, mind you. So yeah, make those considerations. So like me, I would want to get it for $50 in person, like a placer right now, if I would need to play this card. But if not, like, I wouldn't want to pay over 20s for this card online. So if you need it, yeah, it could continue going down. But right now the meta's hot, people are competing, you know, and yeah, just make those considerations. Then we have Amy no Murakumo. No, yes, maybe so. Mitsu Booty. We talked about this card not too long ago, so not gonna go into too much that. You know, it was pretty cheap at 650s. But yeah, quickly it starts going to 8s as people realize that, you know, it just a lot of Mitsu, man, in the YCS. So that hasn't really changed. Yeah, in Pittsburgh, it was branded more about branded Dracotail, but this deck still competed. And this deck still topped over there at, you know, YCS Bologna. So don't sleep on the card. You know, I thought it would go lower in price, but right now, after this YCS, the markets have like heated up. They got this new sense of energy. Don't let this hit 8 to 10s down the line. And I'm mostly talking at this stage and age of things. If you're like building it because of the YCS, you're like, you know what, man, I want to finally play Mitsu Booty and things like that, you pick it up. But long term, I mean, I don't see these cards doing too much, especially with the reprints that we mentioned back here. Where is it? The reprints back here. Here. It may get reprinted inside this product. So, you know, keep it in mind. We have Double Cyclone. Again, a lot of people forgot about this card after Pittsburgh. It was a quarter, went up to, you know, 64 cents. Parabolic. And now the card, I mean, you have one at 50 cents, but really is $1, and then after that, $1.50, and then after that, $3.50 and beyond. 2 pages only, 11 listings. So again, volume has been consistent for this card, as people still need it. It has like 5 versions, but they're all common, so it's harder to get than people give it credit for. So just keep it in mind, because again, as you can see here, it's where is it? It wasn't this one. Where is it? The double cyclone. I could have swore it was this one right here. Let me see. It was one of the other ones. Let me see. Okay, it was this one then. There we go. My bad, guys. So triple double cyclones. Triple. That's just powerful, boys. That's too powerful. We have pre-preparation of rights. It's a $25 card still for the quarter century secret rare. And then we do have the clean secrets here, which, yeah, if there are a couple one-ofs, they hit 4s, and then eventually 5s, 3 pages only, 26 listings. So yeah, people coming in for the lower rarities just to have access to the card, because again, these variants are playing triple pre-preps, triple, not just one, a willy-nilly one-of, not even a 2-ofs, 3 pre-preps here in 2 out of the best 3 decks that we have, Mitsu variants that we have been discussing right here. So definitely make and take those considerations. And here we have Malice, Adagnister Malice, top 32 over there. And pretty much the same, using a Abyssal package, which was pretty interesting. And like we've always said, Borger has been the one that, people play at multiple. So something to keep in mind. Triple alerts, very, very interesting. So just Hand Trap City in the side deck as well. Mistaken Arrest, pretty interesting. And, pretty straightforward. When it comes to that, the deck continues to compete and to top, even at the top tier Yu-Gi-Oh events. So again, like we've always said, every time we discuss the tins, don't sleep on Malice. We have Malice Q Hearts Cryptor. This card was $58, and right now you have a playset at 63s. Then it goes to triple digits, then gone. 1 page only, 5 listings right here. So the card is getting cleaned out. Probably most people didn't know about this. As the card consolidating, it was a great time to buy, because now the card has, essentially, there's only a couple of listings before it gets totally cleaned out. Then we have Malice P March Air. It continues on its uptrend here. It's pretty much approaching 24, 25s. And then, you do have a couple walls here at 26s, but then eventually it could become a 30 piece. So just again, the trend is your friend until the end. This card is in an uptrend. Hopefully you picked it up cheaper when you really needed it, because now the card is just, everyone that's playing Malice, they need their 3-of. So, that makes sense. We have Malice and Underground. Again, this card was $140, and the walls are $174, and they hit 2. So again, you still have time to just get exposure to this. At the very least, maybe 1 playset. Just one to keep in mind. As Malice cards, people continue to build this deck, and the deck continues to perform event after event. And then we do have Malice P White Rabbit here. The card is at about $2 and about 20 cents. Then it does go towards 283s, 6 pages only. So this is another one, that, like, if you've always wanted to build a deck, like, there's nothing to think about now. Like, you just build it. You do. Because you never know how Malice continues to age into the future. Definitely one that you want to keep on your radar. And then we have Branded Dracotail, the deck that actually won Pittsburgh, YCS Pittsburgh. So pretty much more of the same. Nothing too crazy, literally. So it is what it is. And it looks pretty similar to those of people, playing over here in the States. Pretty similar. Nothing too crazy per se. So yeah, when it comes to Dracotail, we've already been discussing a couple of these cards late last week, but I still think we should focus on just a couple with Arthalion. We were touching base on it at around $8, and now the card, with a couple one-ofs, the card then goes to 11, 12s, $20. So yeah, man, 2 pages only. 11 listings, and so don't sleep on it. Hopefully you picked it up. If you really, really needed it, because pretty soon it's gonna be $11 is crazy, and then 15s, bro. Keep it in mind, Rahu Dracotail CR. Again, this card was $35, bumping up to 40s, and here we're at. We have a couple one-ofs, and then it does go towards 47, 48s in the bottom of the page. You have a place at 46s, but eventually it'll surpass the 50 piece. 2 pages only, 20 listings, so just one to keep in mind with all the Dracotail hype that a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players are going to want to play the max rarity. And again, we recently touched base on Femena, so not going to go too crazy, but it was consolidating. We've been just, you know, we're just proponents of, if you guys need Dracotail, like no better time to pick it up at single digits. Like literally no need to sit around and wait this for $15. Same as Malulu, you know, we can see the little curvature off the lows. Literally talking about this below 8s, now it's pushing $9 to $10. Same deal, these ultra rare Dracotail pieces, if you really need them, make sure you get exposure at single digits. Then we have Branded Fusion. You know, we just literally touched base on this card, but we're just talking about it again because it is branded Dracotail. And yeah, I mean, you still have a couple one-ups here, then it hits $3 and beyond. So just one to keep on your radar. And then we do have Fallen of Albaz, the secret rare from Rarity Collection 1 is still holding value. The card was $1, went up to 2 to 3s, and that's where it's at. Yeah, man. Look, you have a couple one-ups and then multiples at $5, guys. 2 pages only, 15 listings. You know, again, most people just play one now in branded Dracotail, but don't forget that we're actually getting branded support in Burst Protocol. So, you know, this card used to be Shackles, bro. That's crazy, crazy. When it really like first came out, that's wild, man. And then we have branded Lunalight, guys. So insane that not just regular Lunalight, but branded Lunalight. Crazy. Again, having these triple Fallen and the virtual spell cards, even with this deck. Look at it. As we can see, we have the Fallen of Albaz, the 2 branded fusions. So very, very interesting. Now people are going to maybe trying to squeeze in, you know, branded, excuse me, guys, Mining Engine into a lot of different decks, as we can see the theme here. So, yeah, but then when it comes to Lunalight, it top 16. And then the Genesis Invitational actually was won by Lunalight as well. So very interesting. Luna taking over as of late. So, yeah, we have Lunalight Perfume. This card used to be 281s. As we can see here, it says 6s, and yeah, after a couple 1s and 2s, you know, the card hits 8 and some change, almost 9. So yeah, 3 pages only, 29 listings. If you need the card, I mean, you could pick it up now compared to potential future prices because Lunalight is heating up. Keep it in mind. We have Lunalight Gold Leo from Duelist Advance. Card was single digits, went up to 11s. It's a $12 card right here. So yeah, don't let this hit 15s. Do as you must if you're gonna build the Lunalight deck after the YCS. Then we have the Starlight Rare Gold Leo. I mean, this card was always around $40 right here, but the card is actually 50s, and then it goes to 150 right there at the bottom of the page. 10 listings only. So again, people even coming for the high rarity because you could play it in Genesis and Modern. So definitely a card to keep in mind. We have Lunalight Tiger. You know, card used to be 2 and some change, went up to 4 to 5s, now back down to 350s here. I mean, really is a $4 card with the multiples. So just one to keep in mind. 5 pages right here, so it's still readily available. 48 listings, but it could easily go from $4 to $5. Then we have Lunalight Serenade Dance. This card, I mean, went crazy to 12s, crashed all the way back down to the scene of the crime. Volume is picking up. So, you know, again, at it says here 354, but really, you have a couple one-ups here at around $3, and then it does keep going up to 4s and beyond. 3 pages, only 28 listings for this Lunalight Max Rarity version of a card. We have Fire Formation Tenki, the quarter century secret rare was 13-14s. We recently updated you guys in the 20s, and here we are after a couple one-ups. Thus, still going to $27 and beyond. 2 pages only, 18 listings. Make sure you keep that one in mind. And then we do have Gem Knight getting a top 64. I mean, we're looking at this list, nothing too crazy. Just Gem Knight doing Gem Knight things. Yeah, I mean, Vingolf's Blessing, what in the world is that? Let me just click over here. I'm definitely curious to look at that. Christia, bro, in 2025. That's insane, man. What is this? That looks pretty cool. You can send one life area over your deck to your grave. You control this Carson. You can target 1 level 4 lemons. That's not bad, guys. Let me just review this here real quick. Look at the spike here in the chart. Oh, this chart, I didn't keep this in mind. Wow. Let me just click on it. Okay. Card market. Where's the chart? It disappeared. Oh man. But yeah, as we can see, Neppy Rune making moves, making plays. Excuse me, guys. Card is still $7, rebounding off the lows at around 650s with volume. So you definitely want to make these considerations. 23 listings. You do not want this to reach double digits before you pull the trigger. Then we have Nepirim, the Starlight right here, 35 bucks, quickly goes to 40s, and it just keeps going on up and up and up. So if you want the max rarity, don't not let this hit a 50 piece around the corner. Then we have White Forest, just wanted to highlight, no particular cards are. We already highlight these, you know, as we discuss the tins and things of that nature. But if you need White Forest, definitely make those considerations, you know, because they actually got a top over there, and no better time to pick these prices up while they're on the cheap. Same for Memento. If you really need any Memento cards, don't forget about these. When they forget, we remember. You want to definitely make sure that if you wanted to build a deck, now most of the cards are reprinted. You definitely want to make sure that you get exposure. And honestly, for combined creation, the supers, the ultras are at 25s and the CRs at 30s. Like, I'd be getting the CRs honestly at that point. But yeah, even the high rarities are making moves, making plays. Like, just pick up your Memento cards, whatever version you want and need. I mean, I'd be building the deck right now, honestly. And then we have the side deck remote WCQ regional. I mean, not too many cards here listed or decks, but RB's actually won the side deck remote regional with over 100 players. So, you know, pretty interesting here. RB list with Gursu, that's pretty interesting. And the Speedroid engine. So very, very interesting cards that we should definitely look at in the future. But for now, I just wanted to focus on Stage Landing right here, which is double bottoming here at around $3. So yeah, man, if you want to invest into these, quickly goes to 350s and beyond. Keep this in mind. Volume is picking up. You know, this is their main piece, same as the Starlight Rare right here at around $23. Don't let this hit 30 to 40 piece down the line because you just forgot to get exposure and actually buy the card. Guys, if you made it this far out into the video, you guys are straight MVPs. Thank you so much for still being here. Make sure you subscribe, ring that bell, like the video on the way out. We'd gladly appreciate it. Yeah, man. Wow. You guys are still here, bro. 40 minutes in. You guys are straight MVPs. Make sure you share this in one place in the group chat. It really does go a long way. Guys, thank you so much for your time, for your support, for your attention. Stay fresh.